So first the mustard seeds. Black mustard seeds.
Okay.
So it's just about half a teaspoon or so.
Okay.
I'm also going to put about the same of cumin and coriander.
Okay.
You could also just use ground. You don't need to use the real seeds.
I see.
Ground is just fine. And when you get the pre-mixed packaging, those are usually pre-ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting, because I usually just put the spices into the lentils, but that sounds good. So you actually cook the spices separately.
And if you can hear,
I can hear.
It's starting to crackle a little bit.
Yes.
So we just want it for about a minute or so, just to brown and really start popping.
Okay.
Once it's popping nicely, then we'll add the ginger.
Ginger and the cumin.
And the cumin powder.
Okay.
We also, I'm going to throw in the turmeric and the hing as well.
Turmeric and hing, okay.
Okay, it's looking pretty good.
Alright. In goes the
Ginger.
And then goes the turmeric.
Cumin.
I'm sorry. The cumin. Okay, I'll learn that.
Just a little bit of turmeric.
There's the turmeric.
And a pinch of hing.
Pinch of hing.
Literally
Garlic,
a pinch.
Literally a garlic substitute.
Turn it down a little bit.
Okay.
And just
kind of stir it up.
Stir it.
Okay.
Alright. Now, we can add a little bit of spice to it if you like.
Wow.
So,
okay.
We have here green chili pepper.
Oh, wow.
Now, this is for people who love
spice.
Love Indian spicy food.
I'm a spice intolerant taster.
So this one has kind of a little bit of a bite when you first taste it, but then it kind of is mellow after that.
Oh.
But we were not going to add this because Chris doesn't like to have spicy.
The request was non-spicy.
So I'm just going to add some tomatoes to this. Now, it really doesn't matter if you add them to here or if you add them to there.
Okay. That doesn't change the outcome.
No. You could also use canned or crushed tomatoes if you are in a rush or...
Right. Okay, looks like you got some tofu, silken tofu.
Some silken tofu here. So usually what we do is we add curds and kind of some cream into the dal itself.
Okay.
But because my sister's vegan and at home I have to cook without dairy, instead I'm just going to use some silken tofu.
Okay.
And instead of adding it directly into the dal, I'm going to add it to the spices so it really kind of absorbs the spices.
Oh, from over here, okay.
I'm just going to grab a chunk and
you just kind of like
after cleaning my hands. And,
right, that's important.
And then just adding it in there.
And that gives it a creamy texture.
Right. That's a nice...
Don't even have to cut it, you just... Okay.
So the spices are going to cook just for a few minutes.
Okay. Smelling good.
It does smell good.
Yeah, it does.
And always make sure, you know, if you're doubling your recipe, make sure to always double your spices as well. That's something that's easy to overlook.
Yeah, right.
You can see
the right proportion.
You can see that what I put was about a teaspoon of each.
Okay.
Or some of the spices, like the cumin and coriander, I put a little bit more than that. But aspartame is really just a pinch.
How much dal did you put in?
1 cup.
Oh, really? Okay, you did 1 cup.
So,
right, so this is for 1 cup.
I took 1 cup of dal.
Uh-huh.
I soaked it overnight, rinsed it, and then I'm boiling it now.
I see.
So that's it. Pretty much all there is to it. When this is done, we're just going to add it to there, let it boil a little bit more, and that's it.
And then we're done. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what's the next step, Varsha?
Alright, so everything's been cooking nicely for about 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay.
And now I'm just going to add it to the mixture.
Okay.
And to make it a little bit fancier, one thing that I like to do is I like to take out some of the dal, maybe about a cup of it,
Yeah.
and to blend it. What that does, now if you don't have a blender, you can use a masher or anything like that.
Okay.
But what it does is it makes it have a really nice, dense, creamy texture.
Oh.
Which is really nice.
Yeah. That sounds great. And I have a blender, so that we'll be able to do that.
Also, I just want to mention, too, that we don't put salt in until towards the end.
Oh, yeah, you were saying that, yeah.
Yeah, the reason why is because the salt will kind of harden the bean, and it will make it a lot harder for it to cook quickly. So, I use these split beans just so that the split lentils, so that they'll cook more quickly.
Yes.
But if I add salt, even with the split ones, it's going to take them a lot longer to cook. They're going to be kind of hard. So I wait until towards the end to add the salt to it.
And you were saying with pasta, it's the opposite, that you actually wanted to put water, salt in the...
Yeah. Usually you add a little bit of olive oil and salt in the water even before you boil the pasta.
Okay, that's good to know.
Also, there are some people who can't eat soy or who prefer not to eat soy.
Okay.
So instead of having, and who are vegan,
yeah.
So instead of using silken tofu, something they could do is they can soak cashews overnight, and they can kind of make a creamy cashew.
Boy, that sounds good.
Mixture, and then they can blend it when they're making the blended portion of their dal. Give it a nice consistency, I think.
That sounds great.
So right now, we're just going to let it boil for a few minutes, just kind of like let the spices soak in, and then we'll blend the cup of it.
All right, sounds good.
So we're just finishing up, so you can take a look at the dal here. It's boiling nicely.
Yeah, it's been half an hour, sorry?
Yeah, about half an hour total. And we didn't blend for this one. If you do want it to be kind of a richer, creamier dal, you can do the blending. Okay. And so it's the end, so we're just going to add a little bit of salt.
That's right, we were saying the salt at the end.
And then we're also just going to
stir it up.
Stir it a little bit.
Get the spices.
You can see
does it smell
all
good?
the different spices in there, and we're just going to put some in our bowl.
All right. The finished product.
So this is nice with some rice or bread, a little bit of brown rice.
Okay.
Something like that.
Nice.
Or even just by itself.
There it is.
I like my dal a little bit watery. Some people, they like it to be really thick, and they'll even cook rice in it, which is nice. But I like mine to be a little watery. So.
Cool. All right. Wow.
There you are. Bon appetit.
Bon appetit. Thank you so much, Varsha.
You're welcome.